And now there are accusations going from the Biden administration and from DeSantis about whether they're all playing nice together. And DeSantis came out, first Kamala Harris came out and claimed that he wasn't taking calls from her and allegedly from Joe Biden. Here's what she said.
Moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
So then Ron DeSantis, who, I mean, frankly, he's got enough to deal with right now without her yapping at him. I mean, he literally has people's lives in his hands right now. She's just so nasty. Mm-hmm. So he goes on Fox News last night to respond to this nonsense and to sound the alarm about what's coming Florida's way. He gets asked about this by Sean Hannity, and here's what he said.
We've been laser focused on leveraging all resources available, including from the federal government. So for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No. And here's the thing. She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line.
Evita, what do you make of it?
Well, I'll just say for some context to everybody that's listening, when there's pre-hurricane season, FEMA has meetings with whoever is in charge, whatever administration is in charge. So during the Trump administration, you had Mike Pence sitting in on every one of those meetings ahead of hurricane season for the entire time that Trump was in office. And then now we have the Biden administration. They still had those meetings, but Kamala Harris, unlike Mike Pence, did not sit in on any of those meetings. She was not a part of the conversation for hurricane preparedness. And now she's running for president, and suddenly she wants a big role in this. And the reason that she is taking shots at Governor DeSantis, who, by the way, Joe Biden has said he's working really great with, again, dismantling this narrative from Kamala that there's somehow a political issue. And the people in Florida and the people in North Carolina and Tennessee and everybody who's been hit by Hurricane Helene and now eventually Hurricane Milton have been just beside themselves with the mismanagement of funds from FEMA, with the foreign aid that's going across the globe while our people are suffering, with the amount of money that's gone to illegals via FEMA. Mm-hmm. And it's just not going to work for her. She is really getting slammed by this issue. She couldn't even use a shovel as she was trying to pretend like she was doing something. This is a devastating story for her. It should be a George Bush Katrina moment for her. And the only reason that she's staying afloat right now is because the media is helping her in a really egregious way.
So here she goes on The View today, Link, and she gets asked about this fight with DeSantis by Sarah Haynes, who's supposed to be one of the conservatives on whatever. Here, watch this.
Like Alyssa.
Yeah, right, like
Governor
Alyssa.
DeSantis have been going back and forth, trading jabs over your attempt to check in. And ahead of the storm, you've called him selfish for not taking your calls. Now, he said this morning you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, I have called and talked with, in the course of this crisis, this most recent crisis, Democrat and Republican governors. Called, taken the call, answered the call, had a conversation. So obviously, this is not an issue that is about partisanship or politics for certain leaders, but maybe is for others. Mm-hmm.
I can't get over the fact that this guy is facing a Cat 5, now 4 hurricane, and she's needling him on The View.
No, I know. I mean, Kamala Harris always says hard work is good work, but I really don't think Kamala Harris likes to work hard. I've been saying for months, I think the only way to get her to work in the Oval Office is if you leave a trail of margaritas like Hansel and Gretel. She does not like to do hard work whatsoever. And she's gotten big breaks in her career. In 2020, she was an abject failure. She got a big break. She got to be VP. Once again, not a single everyday American voted for her. She's been coronated again. She's one heartbeat away from the presidency, might be the next president, and no everyday Americans have voted for her. So this is just a pattern with Kamala Harris. You have to remember, she does not like to do hard work, but she's also all about optics. Unfortunately for her, when I saw her go to Augusta, Georgia, that was painful. Kamala hates interacting with everyday Americans. The videos of her volunteering and walking and talking, she looked like she would rather be anywhere else. So I'm not surprised to see her politicizing this. Ron DeSantis has been working hard for years before he ever ran for president. He has a reputation of putting his boots on, not the best looking boots, but he puts on his boots and he gets to work. Ron DeSantis. Kamala Harris, the same cannot be said for her.
It is amazing. It's like, just say the following. He's got a lot to deal with right now. My heart goes out to the people in the eye of the storm. Let me know how I can help. That's all. Just let me know if we can help. Stop taking shots against the guy who is trying to protect human life on a massive scale right now. I don't care if he didn't take her phone call. I don't care if he didn't take Joe Biden's phone call. Shut up and be supportive, because you're campaigning all around the nation and nowhere near danger. And he's right in the heart of it.
No, Kamala Harris is acting like a clinging girlfriend. He didn't take my call. He's not picking up my calls. He is very busy right now. And I've been covering these hurricanes since the day they started, Hurricane Helene. I have gotten thousands of messages on TikTok from people who say, we applied for FEMA, we got denied. We can't even apply for FEMA because our cell phones barely have battery. We don't have good service. Out of curiosity, last night, I went to the website that Kamala and Joe Biden tweeted out. I think it was disasterassistance.gov or something to that nature. When I went to the website, it is so difficult to apply. There's not a special section for Hurricane Helene. There's not a special section for Hurricane Milton. If English is your second language, good luck, God bless you. These people have really been left behind, and you have to question, if they weren't in red counties or red states, would Kamala Harris be so flippant?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this clip is making the rounds, Evita, from 2023, where FEMA officials are discussing disaster preparedness, and consistent with what's on their website in terms of their top priority. We covered this the other day, which is equity. Listen to what they said.
LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself.
You know, the shift that we're seeing right now is a shift in emergency management from utilitarian principles where everything is designed for the greatest good for the greatest amount of people to disaster equity. But we have to do more.
Do you believe that? I mean, it's right there on camera. Let's move away from doing as much as we can for the most people to just focusing on disaster equity, which is servicing people who are LGBTQ plus, which is probably why Western North Carolina is getting largely ignored.
Well, it's need not apply, right? For FEMA funds, if you're straight or if you're white. And this ideology that we're seeing from this pro-equity side of the left, it's not just misguided. This is a really evil thing to say we're going to prioritize helping people based off of their skin color, based off of their sexual orientation. You think that these are the people, right, who say we believe in non-discrimination. We don't want to be bigoted toward anybody. And then they're prioritizing helping people based off of their immutable qualities. It is so incredibly backward, but it also exemplifies how mismanaged our government is on so many levels. The DEI departments are in every single branch of the federal government. The backward priorities place or throughout our government. The mismanagement of FEMA, of this disaster at large by the federal government is systemic. It's so indicative of something broader. And this is, I think, such a winning talking point for Trump as he's trying to talk about, like, what is the real problem? What are we facing as Americans? Why does this election matter? And it's the permanent state. It's the fact that there are people in charge who aren't actually beholden to the people.
Being able to run your business on your schedule is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. If mailing items like legal documents, checks, or marketing materials takes up a lot of your time, Stamps.com is the time saver you need. Cut down hours spent mailing and shipping with Stamps.com and do it all on your own timeline. From small businesses to multi-location organizations, Stamps.com handles all your mailing and shipping needs wherever, whenever. Take care of mailing and shipping wherever you are, even on the go, with the Stamps.com address. All you need is a computer and a printer. That's all you need. They even send you a free scale. Easily schedule package pickups through your Stamps.com dashboard and automatically see the cheapest and fastest shipping options from different carriers. Get rates you can't find anywhere else, like up to 89% off USPS and UPS. Order supplies and even printers from the supply store when you run low. Sign up at Stamps.com and enter code MK for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com, code MK. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.